Why you may not want a free author website. Recently, I've been looking at a couple of author website services, which at first seem pretty exciting because you'll get a free website and the site looks pretty good. It's a nice, professionally designed landing page for your book. It has all the pages that you need. The catch is, and it's not even much of a catch, it's just $19 a month for hosting, or there might be a better package that you can use for more traffic that might be $30 or $40 for hosting, up to $70 per month. For $19 per month for hosting and a free website doesn't sound like a bad deal. It is a pretty good deal. It's an option to consider because you'll get a website designed for you that looks better than what you would probably get with any other hosting package or plan. The problem or the consideration to think about is hosting isn't actually that expensive. Hosting costs less than $5 a month normally, and most people need an author website for at least 5 years. So if you average $20 a month, you're paying $240 a year, which is about $1,200 for 5 years. And that's how much you're actually paying for that free author website, is about $1,200. Whereas if you spend $1,000 on an author website, it costs you $1,000, and then you pay, $5 a month, which is $60 a year. After 5 years, it'll be just about the same amount of money. However, if it's going to cost you the same amount of money anyway, even if you pay $1,000 to get an author website, the quality of that $1,000 author website might not be very good. It depends a lot on the designer and what the designer knows about book marketing, and whether the designer is telling you what you need to do to sell more books, or if they're just listening to you and giving you whatever you ask for. Because the problem with most authors, if you ask for specifically what do you want to see on your author website, a designer will tell you, or they'll give you what you want, and it may very likely be ugly and not work at all to sell your book, because most authors don't have a sense of graphic design or a very good grasp of online book marketing. And so if you're dictating the terms of your website, there's a very high probability that you're not going to get something that's really going to build your platform and sell the book the way that you want. You might say, well, I saw this best-selling author and they have an author website, so I wanted to just match that style. But then you probably took a bunch of stuff from over here and over there, and you asked the designer to mix everything together. It never turns out very well. It's always better to start with either a designer who really knows what they're doing, but they're in short demand, because web design is mostly coding and graphic design is mostly Photoshop, and it's totally different. And so if you find one developer, not a team or a business, but one provider, one developer, they're either going to be someone who can set up a WordPress site and they're a designer, but they're not a coder, or they're going to be a coder or developer, but they're not a designer, and they're not really going to have that high-level design instinct, because it's something that you learn with practice and study and repetition. So I know that, for example, when I started designing 5 or 6 years ago, I was okay, but I wasn't really very good. I'm much better now, and I can see the designers who are just starting out, and I can notice what they're doing wrong. So you may look at it and say, well, that's what I wanted, that's what I like, that's what, it looks fine to me, but there are other people out there judging it, and even if they can't really tell you what's wrong with it or why it's wrong, it doesn't feel quite right. It just doesn't have quite that same feeling, because good design is really something you can't put into words. It's something you feel. It's user-friendly, it's clean, it's fast, it makes you do the thing that you're there to do. If you go to somebody's author website, you should either buy the book, or you should take their free offer and sign up for the list, or you should follow them on Facebook. A good author website will get you to take action and do something. It's not just a place where you share information, because you need to make money as an author. If you're spending money on an author website, you have to have a return on that investment. Your author website has to do something, not only in terms of driving its own traffic from natural search results, but also getting people to take action when they actually land on your page. I got kind of distracted in this video, but I'll put some links below. There are lots of choices for author websites. It's a minefield because almost more than anything else, if you're building an author platform, your website is really important to get right, but it's really easy to get wrong. And there's so many options and so many things to think about and moving parts. Your product is really important. Of course, your book cover, your formatting, your product is important to get right. You don't want a website that's better than your product or a product that's much better than your website. That's why I think it's always better to focus on something really clean and simple that looks professional and works really well, as opposed to being tempted by fancy design and bells and whistles to make something more complex than it needs to be and ultimately distracting. There are some good options that I've been seeing in the marketplace recently where, like I said, it might be $19 a month, but you get a really decent author website, which is a decent deal for the first 5 years. If you stay with it 10 years and you're still paying the $20 a month, you probably could have gotten something a lot cheaper if you had just bought your own hosting or bought a WordPress author website, which is what I try to encourage people to do. But that doesn't mean it's without its own inherent problems. And it might be easier to find a really good service and just pay someone, as long as you know you're getting quality design and decent hosting and all of that. I'm going to stop this video here. I'll put some links down below. Thanks. Bye-bye.